going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day I saw something over on Twitter that honestly kind of shocked me at first, but at the same time, it put a decently big smile on my face because these things have to be done at some point in time to help push Call of Duty in the correct direction. As long as nobody wants to take a stand and nobody wants to speak out on any of the nonsense that's going on with Activision, they're going to continuously do the same thing. Crap servers, crap anti-cheat, crap matchmaking. And as long as, again, as I stated, we don't do anything about it, they will continue to go ahead and do so. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget subscribing and hit that bell. Post your daily at 8 morning Eastern time. Everything between Call of Duty, Battlefield, Ark Raiders, Splitgate 2, you best believe you'll see it on this channel. And guys, if you do enjoy this variety, as you guys already know, YouTube does not take variety, especially for smaller channels, very nicely. It kind of hates it and it pushes it very far away. So if you guys do enjoy this style of, content and you do enjoy hearing this variety, leave a like, leave a dislike, drop a comment. Any type of support means the absolute world and it helps us push in this direction of keeping variety on the channel. And last but not least, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, if you guys are interested, go link that channel down in the description of this video. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I want to showcase this to you guys before we dive deep into the real juicy topics. This is a post by Charlie Intel saying, rumor, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will reportedly launch on Friday, November 14th. And this information was found by the Ghost of Hope, as we all already know, is a very reliable leaker with great sources behind the scenes. And it wouldn't really shock me if this is going to be the official date for Black Ops 7, although it seems that this will probably be the latest launch date that we have seen, probably within Call of Duty for a very long time. But it's still on par. Let's be real. Call of Duty usually typically launches around October to November, and it's kind of funny to see everybody online freaking out saying, oh my goodness, it's a late launch. That must mean it's going to be a lot of problems. Now, I do personally believe there's going to be a lot of problems, but for other reasons. Things like, Treyarch having to work on 2 games in their whole, time span of 4 years. Sledgehammer Games having to come in and pick up the slack for multiplayer. The Ghost of Hope laughing at the fact that, probably won't be anything close to how Modern Warfare 3 handled their live service methods. It's a lot of other reasons I think Black Ops 7 might be a little bumpy, but I don't think the launch is going to be one of them. But I just wanted to go ahead and share that information with you guys, and I want to hear your opinions. Do you think that this date is rough in your eyes, or do you think that it's perfectly fine and it probably won't really affect the overall quality of the game? But talking about the game here, let's move over to the real topic, Nadeshot. Nadeshot went ahead and, oh goodness, you know what, I'm just going to showcase the tweet to you guys here by Jake Lucky. I'm not playing COD till the new one comes out. I'm getting level 10 and face it. Nadeshot has started his official CS grind. Basically, Nadeshot is coming out and is saying that he is not going to touch Black Ops 6 whatsoever for the remainder of the game's life cycle. And honestly, it kind of doesn't shock me, especially after seeing his rants again and again and again in regards to the cheaters and how, ranked is in its current spot. It's disgusting. No player that wants to be serious within Call of Duty can even bother going ahead and doing so because the anti-cheat won't allow them. The anti-cheat's garbage. It's as simple as that. The anti-cheat is garbage. Now, I have seen people say, oh, is Nadeshot getting paid? Because, for example, with Splitgate 2, he was able to ditch Call of Duty for a little while the check was still running with Splitgate, but the second it went dry, guess where he's going to go ahead and bounce on back? But I don't think so. I think that he's actually genuinely coming on through when it comes to CSGO. He just got done doing a complete gambling stream, which I think is just very interesting. How these guys can just go on Twitch and just straight up gamble to children, and it works perfectly, and people eat it up. Man, they spend so much cash, but I don't know. Maybe they earned some cash too when it came to the crates within CSGO. Who knows? But during that whole thing, I think he kind of got a little obsessed with CSGO. And rightfully so. It's not a bad game whatsoever. Honestly, one of the main reasons why I don't play games like CSGO or anything like that anymore is because I'm kind of tired of the tack shooters. I've had a very, very long history when it comes to games like, Valorant, Rainbow Six Siege. I love tack shooters, don't get me wrong. But in this current moment of time, I'm much more of an arcade arena type of guy. I always have been since the beginning of time, but definitely around this time period in my life, I just love arena and arcade games. But back to the main topic. This is huge. Nadeshot is not a small name in the industry. He's a massive name, especially when it comes down to Call of Duty, even down to his own personal competitive team. So the fact that he's putting down the game might potentially cause a chain reaction, and you have no clue. There might be others who follow suit, and if they do, that will be a great change for Call of Duty. But I'll be completely honest with you guys. This is not enough. It truly is not enough. It might be good for the time being, and who knows, Nadeshot might not even be able to do it. You know, we hear these things all the time, right? I mean, how many times have you heard content creators saying, okay, I'm done, I'm never coming back, and then a week later down the road, they're right back into the experience and probably complaining about the same exact issues. It happens all the time, you know, it's nothing new here. But I gotta be real, I don't think it comes down to even simply playing the game. Yeah, it's good that he's going to take his audience and branch out. But Call of Duty is Call of Duty, right? It's a massive franchise. It's a household name. It's going to find a way to thrive. And even as Nadeshot said, when Black Ops 7 comes out, he's going to hop right back on in. But as I stated, I don't think people loading into the game really matters. I mean, even with Call of Duty on Game Pass now, that is like one of the biggest sources of players hopping into the experience, you know? So it's hard to go off of, oh, you know, Call of Duty has this many players, or oh, people are buying the game, buying hard copies. What it comes down to is truthfully, I know some might fight back on this, and you guys probably have great arguments, but for me personally, this is what I genuinely think. It comes down to microtransactions. I don't care if Nadeshot wants to go ahead and play this game. I don't care if any of you guys want to go ahead and play this game. That's fine. As I stated, you know, the numbers are going to be there regardless. Just with Call of Duty being on Game Pass alone, people will download it and play it because they're going to consider it technically free. It's not free because you're paying for Game Pass. But in all those games, you know, that whole catalog of Call of Duty just randomly pops up. Why wouldn't someone go ahead and download it, right? They'll probably go ahead and do so. It doesn't boil down to that. It boils down to how much money people sink into these games every single time they go ahead and introduce themselves to it. Between getting all the bundles in the store, paying for all these brand new events which shouldn't be in the game for a full price title, again, having free to play microtransaction practices, and a full AAA premium title is very strange, and they're the only game that does it. You know, every other premium game, yeah, they might have something, but Call of Duty is in a completely different ballpark and playing with completely different players while still maintaining a $70 price tag. You know, so those events shouldn't be even happening, but people, you know, they're still coughing up money for that. They're still buying into Black Cell, you know, instead of having the base battle pass, they'd rather have black and gold, you know, skins, so they buy Black Cell for additional cash. You know, all of these things is what's making Activision so much money. It's what's making Microsoft want to purchase into Activision and own all of their IPs, because Activision is great at that. Not even just Call of Duty, Candy Crush, right? Almost all of these games under the Activision umbrella do one thing to the best of their ability, and that's selling things that are already in the current title. You know, they're so good at that. They're so good at selling microtransactions to consumers. That is where the money is at in this company. So base sales don't matter. Play the game as much as you want. But Nadeshot, all the times you're sitting here bragging and boasting about buying up the whole store, and that's the reason they should go ahead and listen to you. That is the true change that must happen. You leaving and going to CSGO until Black Ops 7 isn't going to do anything when you go ahead and start playing Black Ops 7 and you purchase everything in the store. You have to put your foot down there. If all these creators could put their foot down and voice their opinions exactly like this to encourage others to hold their wallets and see if Activision can go ahead and react to such a thing, that is where you want to be. Because Activision right now boast and brag about how microtransactions outpace their base sales on a yearly, not every now and then, no, on a yearly basis. Every base game they drop does not, I will repeat, every base game they drop does not outperform the microtransactions that they sell within those base games. Okay? Character skins. Give them more money than the full 3-4 year production of putting together an actual video game. That is where their bread and butter is at. And that is where you need to go ahead and strike. And until that moment happens, what they are expecting, what they want out of this, whatever you want to call it, boycott, I don't really think it's a boycott, but you know, whatever you want to call it, what they're expecting out of this isn't going to resolve anything, because Activision knows that no matter what, all that matters is what they put in the store. And if they can sell that, then they will make all their money back plus some. They don't even have to worry about if people drop the game. Who cares? Why would they bother with people leaving the game if they still make more? They're still in the positives. They have nothing to stress about. So that's my personal opinion. I would love to know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you think Nadeshot leaving Call of Duty will do anything for the time being until he returns within Black Ops 7? Or do you agree with me and think that the only way things can change around right now is if they stop loading up on the Activision stores? I don't know. It could go both ways, but I would love to hear what you guys have to say down below. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post here daily at 8 morning Eastern time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, if you guys are interested, go link that channel down in the description of this video. As always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.